Welcome back to another episode of the Hayley Osborne Show. I am glad you are here. I'm Hayley, your host, and this is episode 97. I thought that I would bring you a bit of a how-to episode today, and I wanted to talk about how to be different from everybody else because it is something that we do get a little bit stuck in that funnel of deep dark hole of social media. And I think competitor analysis is really important, especially as a business owner, to know who's doing what's out there. But then it's also really important not to get stuck in that comparisonitis, because we can, and it's easy, and it's like, there is always going to be somebody out there that is doing better than you, that has more than you, that has achieved um far greater things than you in a shorter period of time. This is just life, and so we have to accept that, and also we have to go a bit deeper and come up with really cool strategies on how to be different from everybody else. Now, everyone else, big words, but everyone else is everyone else. And so we have to go inside us and figure out what lights us up, what works for us, and what that looks like. Before we get started, though, I did want to say that the doors to my signature membership, Superhero Marketing, are opening on the 19th of March. Now, that is not far. And if you've been sitting on the fence, now's probably the time to get yourself on the wait list. It's very easy to find on my website, and secure yourself some awesome bonuses when you join via the waitlist before the doors open. I'm only doing 2 live launches this year, which will be so much better. And then email list launch. So if you're not on the wait list, get yourself on there, because things are about to start to ramp up in terms of communications and bits and pieces from me. So to avoid missing out on some epic bonuses, get yourself on there. And if you're watching on YouTube, which I record the visual as well, you would see that I've had a haircut. So it's very, very short. And it was it was so overdue. And yeah, I'm loving it. There's a lot of air happening and it feels really light and so nice. Anyway, so let's get into today's episode, how to be different from everyone else. Because when you can establish what makes you unique, that is what sets you apart. So there's lots of competition. There's lots of similar offerings to what you do. I often liken it to, how many cafes are there out there? So many, and they all have room to coexist. And what are the things that set them apart? Location is a big one of them, but then service, and there's so many other. Quality of product is another thing. So standing out is critical, and it's not just for your recognition at all. It's to make sure that your business survives. Okay. So if you haven't figured out how and what this looks like for you, it's time to really peel back the layers and have a really good think. And I'm going to teach you how you can do that so that you can look at ways to be different from everyone else. And, you are a business owner, you are listening to this podcast, it is for business owners. I do teach you marketing, branding tips. It's the key to really differentiating yourself in the market and your personal brand. So what is your uniqueness, and how your uniqueness blends your skills, your experiences, the way that you express yourself, and the values that you bring to your professional space and the business that you run. They're the key things that you need to be able to understand, that will help you bring out your uniqueness. So understand what that is, what makes you you. And it's inherently attractive to your audience because it will come across as super genuine and irreplaceable. Okay, no one can ever be you. So we need to dig out what that uniqueness is and own it, and own your story, right? Because your story is the thing that sets you apart. So it doesn't matter if you are a startup or you're well in your business journey. I feel like everyone has sort of bumps along the way and gets stuck with their content and has to, peel back the layers to revisit what that looks like. Because, yeah, I think when you're so close to your business too, you get a little bit bored. And so we always look for ways to like be better and reinvent ourselves, but really look at what your story is, and your story makes you unique. So what's your background? Obviously showcasing your wins is really important. Social proof is great, but also your losses. Okay. So, I'm not gonna talk about things in my business that aren't going well at the time. I'm going to talk about what I did to overcome those things and those more difficult times, and how now I'm on the other side and what that looks like. That is the only approach I will take. I am a glass half full business owner, and I will always come to the table with positiveness. I get ranty, but it's more from a real passion point rather than a negative point. So how can you talk about your losses in a more positive way where you've taken steps to overcome what you've overcome? And they're really getting those parts right are really the foundations to the way that you are unique and the way that you are approaching putting yourself out there and really being different from everybody else. Write down what they are, write down your influences, and consider how each of these things, your background, your wins, and your losses, really shape your work and how you run your business and what your vision and your mission is. The next part I want to talk about is developing your skills. So, how are you mastering the craft that you have that you are sharing with the rest of the world? So, if you work on up leveling, educating, and building your knowledge around what you do, this gives you the edge, right? And helps you to stand out from the crowd. So, definitely, education is one of my highest values, which is why I do what I do. So that is why I started my membership, Superhero Marketing, and it is why I create the strategies for business owners that I do. So social media strategies and marketing strategies, because I know that knowledge is power, and the more people that I can help, the more powerful businesses become, and that creates confidence too. So when you are able to take what you've learned and apply that, you automatically walk a little bit taller because you have a little bit more knowledge and you're a little bit more confident. So I think that there is power in that. And, when you're always learning and developing your skills, you always have something extra to offer on top of your story, right? And standing out from the crowd, something that's uniquely yours. So, if you feel like you haven't lent in to work on yourself or on your business for a while, now might be the time. And this will really help you develop how unique you are. And, helps you have an edge and how to be different from everybody else. So, whether it's a hobby or whether it's taking a course or joining a membership, this all helps. And then, when we look at how to be different from everyone else, we're looking at like adding personality to your branding, right? What does that look like? It's not just for people. It's not just for personal brands. It's for brands too, like named brands. They can have personality as well. So if you are a person that runs a brand, so you are not showing up as a personal brand like myself. I show up as Hayley Osborne, that's my website, but then I have the brand Superhero Marketing, and that's establishing legs of its own in a really cool way. Oh, I cannot wait to share with you my new website. It is crazy amazing. And I'm giving personality to superhero marketing. And that's just based on the time it's spent in the market, how it's evolved, and so what does this look like for you? If you are showing up as a personal brand, how are you doing that? how are you adding personality into your personal brand? And then if you are showing up as a brand, like think about what are you? Are you serious? Are you quirky? Are you changing the game? Are you being authentic? This stuff matters when you are putting these things as the front facing parts of your business. So these are the outward marketing things that people see, and they see the personality in your branding. And it's important when you add these elements in to really have a strategy around it so that you can be consistent in everything that you touch for what you activate, your communications. So, whether that's email, social media, how you show up in the world. I like to wear my yellow suit. Today, I don't have a yellow suit on. I've got a beautiful dress on. And if you are watching the video, it's got such a gorgeous, I don't know how to describe it really, bright colors embroidered on the top. And it's a beautiful white flowy dress. I love it, with matching pink lipstick. And, I like to wear bright colors that aren't too busy, but they really showcase my personality, which then overflows into my brand. So what does that look like for you? I know you would see people wear similar colors when they step out on a stage, and that's really like a subconscious way to connect your brand with your audience. And that's something that has long lasting effects as well. You can share lots of different things for a long period of time across your marketing. And another thing I wanted to talk about was creating really compelling content. So what I mean by that is, yes, visuals are important, but your words are even more important. And so I have had so many times people say to me, Hayley, how you write in your social media posts and your emails and your website, everything you say, and then, how you show up in person, you're the same person. This is not, this is done on purpose because you need to be distinctively you. So whether that's through blogging or podcasts like this, where you show up as your true, authentic, organic self, videos, whether you've got produced content, whatever that looks like, it needs to reflect your uniqueness, that your voice and what you stand for. It's really important. So use your tone of voice and your vocabulary to really dig into your personality to really stand out from the crowd. And then when you're doing that too, make sure what you're sharing is original and it comes from your own knowledge and education. Knowledge is power. And then what else did I want to talk about? Oh, I sort of spoke about this before. I've got little notes here, but networking and collaboration. So when you are attending events and things like that, how do you show up? Well, you could wear something that is colored to your branding, like I do with my bright yellow suit. I know a private client of mine, she loves to wear a pink suit. And that really showcases you against your competitors and really helps you stand out. It doesn't have to be a suit. It could be anything. It could be you always wear a cowboy hat. I know a couple of photographer friends of mine, their little thing is cowboy hats and they love it. And so what is that thing that you love that could help you stand out at events, at networking events outside of what you do? And then another thing I want to talk about is really leveraging your uniqueness. And really, what I mean by that is, what's your unique selling points? What do you offer that no one else can, right? And how do you then highlight this in your marketing efforts to bring people into your world and take them through to the point of purchase? This is something that I do with my private clients. And I also teach inside Superhero Marketing, the membership. That's really important because the journey should be seamless. Okay, it should be absolutely seamless. And if you're feeling like a little bit mismatched and a little bit like it just doesn't have a nice flow, and you feel like it's a bit tricky when you show up, this could be what is disjointed. So you have moved far away from the business that you created in your personality and your education. And so you have changed and evolved and grown, but you haven't brought your communications along for the ride. So that's something that will exist in when you figure out what your unique selling points are and communicate them through your marketing when you tie them into your marketing foundation. So it's one beautiful flow. And then the other thing is, when you're doing this above and beyond, like anything that I've said, when you are being different from everyone in the market, you need to be consistent. Consistency is the key. Consistency across your messaging. I'm here, I've got my hand cream on, I've got a coffee, I've got water, I'm all set up, but you know what? No amount of water can stop you from muddling your words when I'm like deep in flow here. Anyway, we digress, but when you are consistent across like your visuals and your messaging, and you are always appearing and you're reinforcing that unique brand identity that you have established, you're being really deliberate about how you show up. It doesn't look like that from the outside though, right? So you've got the strategy, you're being deliberate, and all of a sudden your ideal clients are connecting the dots. So they are some of the most important things that I wanted to share with you today, to be able to teach you a few things on how to be different from everybody else in the market. Because no one is like you. You are your own unique person. And that's really important to remember. But it's refining that and tying in ways to light it up for your business as well. That is key to standing out and being successful at what you do. And I hope that's it. I hope you've enjoyed listening to today's episode of the Hayley Osborne Show. And I've got to run, but I will see you next week for another episode. All right, guys. Bye.